Hello, this is the fourth video to section 3.2. In number 11, we're given a piecewise function. It's called piecewise because our function differs for different values of the domain. Let's look at this a little bit more closely. In 11a, they ask, what is the domain of f? Well, we know that x can be less than 0. And we also know that x can be greater than or equal to 0. This means that the domain of x is all real numbers. And in interval notation, it'll be negative infinity to infinity. In letter B, we are asked for the function at different values of x. The first one is f of negative 2. So let's go above to our piecewise function. When x is negative 2, that means we have to follow when x is less than 0, not when x is greater than or equal to 0. So since x is negative 2, we are going to plug negative 2 into the top function, which will look like this, and that will give us negative 8. For the next part, the letter B, they ask us to find the f of 4. In this case, we're going to use the bottom function because since x is 4, notice we need to use the bottom function when x is greater than or equal to 0. So we're going to plug 4 into 3x plus 2. And when we do this, we'll get 14. And lastly in B, they ask us to find f of 0. So which function would we use? The top one, when x is less than 0, or the bottom, when x is greater than or equal to 0? We would use the bottom. The top one does not allow for x to be equal to 0. However, the bottom function does allow us to plug 0 in for x. So we go ahead and plug in 0, and we'll get 2 for our answer. In letter C, they ask us to graph this piecewise function. There's a few ways to do it, but I'll show you how I usually do it. Let's first address the top part of our function, where f of x is x cubed. This is going to happen whenever x is less than 0. There's a few ways I can do this, but I'm going to start out with using a table. I'm going to pick values that are less than 0, but since x is infinitely close to 0, I'm also going to pick 0 itself, but I'm going to leave an open circle on the side of 0 because x cannot include 0. I will need an open circle at that point on the graph. From here, I'll go ahead and solve for y. When y equals x cubed and x is 0, y will equal 0. When we plug negative 1 into x cubed, we'll get negative 1. And when we plug negative 2 into x cubed, we will get negative 8. Let's go ahead and plot these points. Remember, when x is 0, we are going to need an open circle. When x is negative 1, y is negative 1. And when x is negative 2, y is negative 8. This might look a little familiar to you because it's the first half of our library function of y equals x cubed. Let's move on to the second function, 3x plus 2. I am going to make a table for that as well. And I will use a green pen to differentiate the two parts of the graph. Notice that for 3x plus 2, x must be greater than or equal to 0. So I'm going to plug in values that are either equal to 0. If I want, I could put a closed circle here just to remind me, or greater than 0. And you can really pick whichever x values you want as long as they're greater than or equal to 0 here. All right, I'm going to plug these into the function. So when x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 5. And when x is 2, y is 8. I'll go ahead and plot these. At 0, 2, we have a closed circle. At 1, 5, we have another point. And then at 2, 8, probably somewhere up here, we have another point. And this line continues in the positive direction infinitely. Now, I could have noticed that the bottom part of the function is a line, y equals mx plus b. So I could have graphed my piecewise function using that piece of information, and that we have a toolkit function of x cubed as well. Take a look at number 12. Once again, we have a piecewise function. We're asked for the domain again. Notice the smallest value that x is allowed to be is -3. He won't get smaller than -3. He can equal 0, and he can be greater than 0. So our domain here is going to be all real numbers greater than and including 3. We're asked to graph this piecewise function again. I'm going to consider my top function here, which is 2x plus 5. Notice the domain for 2x plus 5 includes any number between -3 and 0, including -3. So I might pick a few numbers. I'm also going to put 0 in there and remind myself we have to have an open circle when x is 0, not a closed circle. So when I go ahead and plug these values into 2x plus 5, when x is -3, the y value will equal -1. So that will be one of my points on the graph. When I plug in -2 to the function, I'll get -4 plus 5, which is a positive 1. So when x is -2, y is positive 1. And I can continue doing this as many times as I like. And I'm also going to plug 0 into this, even though we're not allowed to use 0, but we must plug it in to find out where we should put our open circle. Now we won't have a line that goes on for infinity here because we have definite parameters. Let's take a look at the next part of the function where f of x equals -3. Now f of x is only -3 when x is equal to 0. Take a look back at the function. When x is exactly 0, our y value will be -3. So we are going to plot a closed circle at -3. For the last function, I'll use a red color so you can differentiate between the different parts of the graph. Please notice for -5x, x always has to be greater than or equal to 0. But once again, I am going to include 0 in my table and remind myself I have to have an open circle here. And when I plug x equals 0 into this part of my function, I'll get -5 times 0, which is also 0. So that means I have another open circle on my x-axis. And then I'll pick a few more numbers that are greater than 0. 1, -5, and if I plug in x is 2, I'll get -10. 10. We'll extend the graph a little bit further. And this graph will continue on infinitely because notice x is allowed to be any number greater than 0. And that is the end of the fourth video to section 3.2.